Godi en mai nera ni man godi ma giluongo ni lukung. En kama olumo gi ye. Oluoro gi kuno bino ka ochoko dano gi kam kany. Weng unego ju mukene, umako ju mukene ocero kede makwo. Ju mukene mudong ni kiringo kwedgi dong wabino ikam ikal kany no.
Kan ger foto ni ya. Eto keni en peka mobero ke tini jo na bi ring rock bi kwa borwa kan. Na eto chon uru mo lum ga me punyer kai di mena yen mari yeli jo eto ke. Bia kon metu ni kan ko tu bi ka na za gele. Na za ne ko le ko. Eto na ne ko le ko.
From 1988 up to 2006, a rebel group called the Lord Resistance Army rendered thousands of residents in the Acholi and Lango sub-regions of Uganda victims of war. The LRA is led by a spiritual commander called Joseph Kony. The rebels were associated with forceful recruitment of child soldiers and brutal attacks on innocent members of the community. During the peak of the conflict, an estimated number of 1.5 million people lived in displacement camps within the region. We follow Nighty, a woman who lived through the war, and we see Michal, whose home area was just outside the war zone, where life continued as normal.
Chaki nyala chaki gamu iya mwaka piar boro chi inu ni no kor mo jang ti lueny mario wa chi buro lum kar en kor mo jang bino choko diai choko digi choko gweni kwanyo bongi kumio weng wakane di lum aya mario agamu iya dake uno gamente la dit mo nye ki luonye ni abirga bini pala beka ikar inu ni kero per chon i diko chon pe woro paka wacha ngwen ka ini kar wako ikina ini ka ini au diko me ocha ngwen woro kichilio firing squad gi kal kany pala beka kal kany kar manual ma da mundo dong wati dong kama lum no dong tika ma pinyong food no gi bedo food gi wire gi donyi Sudan gi dugi Uganda gi donyi Sudan gi dugi Uganda ten ma ngwan na dong no dong wa rion dong wati kam gi kome dong gi kam kuno ten man en manual mana food wa pe kam mi udong bod mara gang ulumu bino mako juma gang kenyu weng unego pa yuya ngwen gumaka la ten enu ni ya ki goye wiyo no ikombar ja chi wabedo eni kare enu ni waringo dong kam wakwo kere wabedo dong en
Eka ma gur ora ta duong. Kana buri ya kero tina na kere chega. Ti dango tina Tio tiene dek. Uba chiel la nya rio. Rio ti quano na sara ra chiel poti tidi. E camino poti woro ko pacho. Tongi. Ma eno bever ya wadu juene. Awan tu kwa ye wan kara chiel. Mano be tungu mina en. Oto mina duong ngere. Oh, mano pero ote gine ta metolo taba. Ame ana bedo. Kero wore na mota pero mi yakin tami ni purana puru. Tia gor. Kana puru taba. Kamu kelo ginra bebere chaya. Karo gigi mogana puati tino. Chalo nyagi, chalo ranga, chalo kalgisha. Taba dok miro lo gino ko. Mi omwahani ana temo ni miro ngo. Oda hadonyi ye.
Ini man weng dong kan kam pa uma. Atara ti cha. Kita ya jan. Mungkin ini dong weng village me pa uma no beru kan ci dong ki mugo ordinero. Dong man dong ki furi e poti dong. Kom dan mungkin do da ko sat lai kam no kam ma diru beru en kan. Weng ordinero en kabener ki mugo mata fwale ye ini weng man ka ot. Pa ko cer wa piny ka cha. Gar pagamente caro ti cam kere no adui bino ka donyo moko gen gi weyo ge adui ram donyo cam ne ko dana ka yada ke chaka riemo ko ara riema kono ma donyo ni gen ti go weyo ko irge ne letin wan ni monye miero ti si dongi nak pa mon ki to pa wan ma dongi ne ko wa ko mi dongi we wa chibilian we ko wa pian no don ko wa betum mo we.
In the displacement camps, leadership structures were introduced, first as humanitarian structures to channel relief, but later they took over functions of the local government. It thus became a parallel system which made the lower levels of local government redundant.
During the camp time, we had some difficulty, even with the NGOs. Most of the NGOs who were coming here directly to the camp leadership, not to the LCs. So they were thinking the LCs are somehow political. So when it comes to distribution of materials of one house, maybe they will take side to somebody who might have voted him or her, who is a supporter. But they were going now direct to the what? To the camp leadership. So that one created gaps between the LCs and the camp leaders.
Yan jumu kene ka chalo kam leader mu kene choyo goes nyo nying ma pegane ka choyo waya eni kano kara we village money agien inu ni bieno gi kuja gama ka wi en ko na obere ti village ga chere we inu ni mogo time ka chal in ti la mona kere eni karani in no dak eni be ngolo nyiyo mogo ngala ko bena da ka dong in chwala ko na nyim ka wek dong nyi dugi karni an en nya po donyo matwal amede dok e kam kan pa gam cham nya pe ka choy winyi we dugu ko a choy winyi we dugu ko matwal pa mede gam ni
Ginda joti mu kane. Ama kero li Michal ki beru ka en puru en no. Ñu jokke no ti business ñu chato rajini kere group ti group e mata ko ting ti ginare yo ma beru member ye. E kame pu ana ya beru skar ma ñoni jopor. Kere me boli shop na ti ye. Me dani beri group me mata ko kai ni na chini ni pe banyu ka puru potaol aromo ya katintie na pero u mat no e kanu banya meri che banya che no tiwia ne en kita wanu kere ka en boli chapcha ka pe mo tia di yin wer kwa yin chene wer denu chene na cha dale te rumo ti ki pe ni kanyo tuo ma khe nyo school fee atin ni turem long wo den ka nyo ginote ti pe mo ti di no yi wer denu chene na cha en kit konya wando nu wer pi ramanu jo cha konyer ken di.
In 2006, peace talks started in the city of Juba in southern Sudan. They would last for 2 years. Though a final peace agreement was not signed by the LRA, several agreements were reached, leading to stability in the north. The Acholi started leaving the camps to take up new lives outside the camps. After 10 years in the main camp, Nighty and her family moved to a smaller satellite camp. Here, they built their new huts.
Ôi cam canh en cam ngọt tie ni, quore tie ano bebe ne tie pe lo kom fu ngam ti chok lai, gi lo kom yan, lo kom giana chama pe dia to twal, ento lo kom no chiene me chul kon timo ngo gini tiga dia, wagi ata bene putia ge yuma bene no ata puti mari tiang mo roji.
Since stability returned, government institutions resumed their functions. However, the experience of the war created a governance gap at various levels. The war had a silencing effect on citizens. Acholi lacked experience in engaging with the state, and with the memories of the past still vivid, they are reluctant to speak about certain issues openly. The war also broke the trust of the Acholi in the state.
The background to this relationship, which appears to be of a suspicious nature, really originated from colonial time. The way we were governed during colonial was such that our sub-region basically was used for recruitment into the military by the British colonialists. So the economic activities were actually based in the south. So this caused disparity in terms of wealth.
Of course, a lot of things have happened over time, really, so that it might not be only the Acholi, but a number of other places that you can talk about a broken trust, a trust between the citizens and the state, as looked at in the Western concept of citizenship, where the state is, for all intents and purposes, nearly irrelevant, because for a number of years, the state was missing in the Acholi region, and the only manifestation of the state was force, social control using the camps, the armies, and so forth.
There seems to be two different countries, one for the north and the rest of the country. There are legitimate concerns that people in the north do have. So for us to be even thinking of equal citizenship at this moment, I think is foolhardy and dishonest for the suffering that people have had to go through.
Well, the conflict affected that in two ways, both positively and negatively also. Negatively, because the conflict actually disempowered people in terms of their voice. The voices that mattered for most of the time during the conflict had been the voice of the military. So people felt they were not useful, they do not have that voice. Even today, people still have a lot of doubt about whether they have the voice or not.
Apathy. It's really apathy, disengagement from the state. There's this kind of phrase which people use when they're dealing with the state, because they look at the state as being oppressive. They view that we died long ago, there's nothing more you can do for us. So it's abject kind of apathy.
In Uganda, a multi-layered local government system exists. It is called the Local Council or LC system. Each level has an elected council. It starts from the village, the level of LC1. Several villages form the parish or LC2 level. A number of parishes together constitute the sub-county, LC3. The county, LC4, only marks the demarcations of a constituency of a member of parliament. The district, led by Local Council 5, is the highest level. It has a direct relation to the central government institutions. Ideally, citizens' interests are channeled from the LC1 level upwards to district level, and central government should respond. However, many challenges exist that make the system not responsive in reality. On top of that, in the regions affected by the ARA, the lower levels of local government became dysfunctional. Districts functioned to some extent, but had services delivered by humanitarian actors.
One of the dero, ka yin ngat mo ke kani diere ni chwal kit koko mo, gidwako in chien ke wachi LC maloyo kenyu nyoruot kweri tianga, miye wandong waluo pe warong no nga po mier wachwal. Pegi ye.
Luoro bedo tie, pien, gin mu bedo time kom dana ni, put pe a. Ka ono nene dong ki chamu puto, no dong luor pe. Man eni luor chani putie. Kay lok mo time manok, ki wi kong ringa wakuja. Ka dong chuni chaka du, ikwan yu mene. Man eni anene luor putie. Kenen no dong gin ini pe, uno kon dan tia gonya weng.
La gam tikit man, pien da luor rama bedo tie, ka in machalo la te dera ta, dono bedo ka karo kom gamente, gichwalo dano machalo kiari gi makhio, chi gichwali, ni ini tiga balo nying gamente, chi kuno iwajo jemi ma rach ma utime.
En luenye okelo jimi yo maket eno nyweno dano miyo dano doko do cha pi en ni lueny eno ni dong dano tigi luor pe ramo dong chier ka lubu ko tij mo kede bal mo mangar mo bala pe dong ramo lube pi en ni chwinywa dong ti luor lueny nyweno wi wa pi en kit me kwo me loko mier ki bet ka kachiel ki loki ino lo tele dong gigwar gi loko pe ken gitiga chai wan jubu ken dong yak wan nung wadok kono piny pe dong wang'eyo bene tamgi pien tam tugi mo madong gi wach wak ripa kachiel pe gineno wan jumu waticha dong nen chalo dok lung mo madong konywa bene pe kien me lok pien lo tela cha na gier bene chuli waloko ke giego ga chuli teke tie mere ni lo tela cha ke na gi miro mo no chiene gi ga chal inter pe ka gini gi miro chul mo no ali ba bigi wek gi mak la ban mo no ini chwalo ni yo kiet ka gem bier ka gamne long me mo gi miro ini chul en teke wa no kenyu mir mi bor gi chiene ma ali ba big olito pi mo.
It's the same community who elected me here are the people who are again fearing to come to this office. I've been really interacting with others. I said, why don't you people go there? You see, we fear, we have that respect. And now, respect that is stopping you from really getting assistance, then what kind of respect is that?
Eneni dong wek luoru o kibor wan uti derni ikom government. Government ayo miru kariko kati tiche la bon kero luor mu kere ndak mapat. Were wana da machare lutien pa government wanen ya babawa dong tiga nena waki wang mabe. Dong machare man ka utime chwalo wa yo eni mapedok kelo luor ayo. Pian ka iwini mamak iputie lok muga kon dor in record ki pian bar nyinga mente putie en eni pudok meri luor mere. Lok eni again mir ku nen were bene wa chak nene ki bor ki chi wan wa lub ma dan luba pian wan yu mo pat ki ko ka chiel ki government dum pe ke ken luor twer ma wa gi mu ma ka wati keri ma chalo pero dum pe twer wa yin pian no luor ti ene ko man
Kakara with radio positive with your pair boro we are boro turner no doing loud doing mateni security tuning within Kampala. Security chani Kampala ya di to dalbai ya mfuda mahabenti ya mahali diko yuma hatuma hapo
town ko bome area ne City Square area ne Debe Road with the kana me officer XDCT ya lola jana kumbi yame police yugo ko bichukum area bichubai ano ko pare ya bikyo pa hatora ko lo atende
In this part of the region, thanks to stability, forms of community organization could develop without interruption by war or displacement.
Tam ko wano tayaro. Ber pa penyo gigi mo ganu tu rem. Eto gin ko ni ka ni programa government fo tun kiri kan. Aya, karo kene kanyi worro kyana kyane winya ko ni work plan poro go. Ko tigi ni baje.
Ayo ikakano no. O wando kana ne ginoro pete atie ko mwa wano gineni. Wano worro sub county kana no. To no data information. Ikom ngano district chwalo. Ni ginara mano meti wot kan norcha. Mana wot kan norcha to no kwa jo kwa kare romene idwe mene mwa mene ni. Haya bapi ti contribution na me jo ya iraja lo kano teter kunu ko funding. Ame jo district tawo meddo. Donc agi wani nyori ko chwalo e ka to ngat do loko ko wan miro worto nen ni council li bala kanene pini jon no gine yihongo council meeting e ka ngato ken ya te der mo ramu winyo ngo ame ta ko wer kunu do ka gino la har ko ta tike twer ni yina te der me wot winyi kana ja te raising concern ni e ka gino te ngo to twale nyim itit mo nga mo chamo yo gine nyo ngato ruenyo kita me wana neno ke dentro.
Today I'm coming to the sub-county to meet the sub-county chief to inquire on some government programs. How are you? Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good. Then Group Amor Charicha Poyo Medi LSP District Livelihood Support Program Group Uruniter yang kana kok chani kweri gin ka otio maro ngayo ka
project re no tie kere eto no miro gio gam gini jammi gi ame gio kwao ko eto jopotia welo jammi gino
Chene do bino ko.
Chene no tio bino ko.
Okay.
Eto ni contractor ma welo jammi ma bino mi gi mtia welo do jammi.
Inata mako be kon dame lo. Atamo ni wandu shubere uno pur mo mano. Oko dongi wano bere jo ame gumu maho gi. Ikin jo du wane na ye gumu maho amenu ko rimora no na. Mo mano. Ko no titidi. Amani pe do tia cheli ko da fetia chwe mo kwa yo ni dwe ni konda pe dwe abe pe dog dong ni no moro di to twal tindo buru ke te dog lo ko nyiga ngwen no ro nyo ko ik
Chala ba wano te der. The area wa kaene unura mirti mera chala ba by election. Pien by election obedo. Rayo tam duon na popat yakina jama buri area no te chala ko uno nyim na ha sub county e ka jon te dugu ubala manyurni mir mo hun yera. Unura mo ti mere. Etto pe ko beda tieni o dano luorongo adage. Mio ini dana chele ram katokre tam ame kone chok joy te temo kone ngadi tame to kom ngadi so mio ko gino te tekere beda tie eto gire no pet kitian ne yakina wa mio wa luoro
pola kare kodi pekino eno bina chala duge me party support ama itir Uganda kan ama eno ni the ruling party ka un otadera moro village yorni peker una tela wu ama tie ita party moro no don lo peberu tie ya duolu dongo mio ti cha moga medung ka by coincidence ishwalo una tela wu let's say area councillor ameno do bedo opposition leader dans le peberia du lorno donc achala duge me ko de temo no me uno members more me area no ibedo uno donc pe benefiting gino ratwalle pe no chain of communication peteke kare
Nida gine. Ameti chalo ba. Atia would boral situ. Pien. Anu ni you war to balle matek. Numir ka would borre. Ka wara pen kong kamerie. Pero munu ke ken. Atira award. Sen uni. Ko tu nya area wakana me ka ko bi LCD1. Peti mo ginuri ye. Kina maro mi ngeyo. Ni pie teng me mi ya telana ngej. Pien mira poyo wie. Gigi moga me nyu ti nyu ti ati mer nyu wie obi nyu ko kobe wiero ke wilo ke ye. Nyu gigi moga na tiene na recho. Miri ana kobe pien nu nang peti kere nyungo. Gupu mor me neno nga ti ati mo keri ngo gini ene.
In areas like this, community initiatives have emerged easily, such as the Citizen Committee that was established to bring electricity to Michal's sub-county.
The community said, let us try ourselves to bring this electricity here because we have stayed here. The government did not give us. So we asked them last time, but they could not bring here. That is why. Then the community sat down, said, let us do it. That is why they formed the committee to tell the government what our demand is. The sub-county say they will help us by all means to see that the process of electricity have come here. Now they contributed 2 million to our account.
Watapia tek. Tieni miri beda chiki kera tela ni. Pien. Eni kopabuka koni kanyo yi. Bedo nyuara tela nyuara. Peki moga ma ngole ni. Pekonyi kere. Yor total. Nutia mimina. Dumi beda tela ni chiki pera beda nyodo. Kanyo ko tan chente moro. Dahe redo kere warrior pudi chanwa bedo corruption kere ngogi. Ina kadide gine atitidi. Pero miri kobe pien kai kobe diri macha. Enda bini shwala nyim kadi tekidi pori baloro. Shwali ko yodo.
In Michal's area, people have picked up on the procedures that link them to local government. Nighty and her fellow community members are busy rebuilding their homes first. However, their view of the state is clouded with suspicion. The war and distant relationship with the state has given birth to fragile citizenship.
Bedo wa Uganda twa eni wana tika bedo lung chere we wan pe nyueli me Uganda kan watika bedo chere we kaka mo bina Uganda watidong chelo pira ite Uganda kan kaka mo kan tika bedo ki kujlo wan ni kom gamente kom gang wani
wa puti matek pian put wenyo agi kongwa dak bene jemi mayam watikeri ni pole lal lo ka me lwen man watika be ko ne pura be wa onu to du ki chingwa ma bene put pe timuramo en mi ko put tek wan juma dog mu wi buru inena gin ma yam ti wi buru ku no dum pe wen ti i cha ko ni achel ene ka wono ker ne tek ti ka ken no ko tek ti ken
an tawni ene merwo marpur betie yani ingeo bal tie dan balo sidon kero no an dwa wa gang kan no yam ti korwa berdo watia gonya we char pajiwa ti merwo marpur to government.
Approaches to rebuilding democratic governance vary. The dominant approach focuses on rebuilding the physical presence of the state in terms of offices and tangible service delivery. Important as they are, Nighty and her fellow community members emphasize that there is need to have a well-tailored reconciliation with the government, which should allow strong people's voice and their full participation in decision-making.
I think local government generates much of its legitimacy from how it provides for the population. And so, in effect, that was really what we were targeting, is that the local government wasn't viewed by the population as legitimate or even active. It was basically defunct in many areas outside of the main towns in the Acholi subregion. And so restoring people's confidence by enabling the local government to deliver much needed services, much needed structures to the population.
You literally had very weak sub-counties and other lower level local governments, from physical destruction of infrastructure to absence of human personnel. And so since the launch of the PRDP, attempts have been made to try and rebuild those institutions. In the bank, we have a $22 million component of the local government management and service delivery project, basically to put back the infrastructure, offices and staff houses, to try and increase presence of government institutions in those levels.
The overriding focus by the government on hardware, economic infrastructure, rebuilding schools, hospitals and the like, important as they are, you know, they speak to sort of show that everybody can see. But it is important if we think about rebuilding the lost trust between citizens and the state and local government structures. We need to invest in the software, which is building the overall capabilities of ordinary citizens to see themselves as rights holders who can demand.
But also we need reconciliation at the national level. You see, this country is so divided right now. You can see what is taking place around, you know. To have more engagement of people in governance, first build local structures of participation. Then also ensure that those in authority listen to the views of those at the local level. Because the moment they don't listen, people will just disengage. Why waste your time? We have seen all this, nothing works. So that is what happens.
The challenge really is to get both on the government hand a process that begins to show a visible government presence across the north, a capability to provide, to deliver the services that people expect of government, but importantly also a loop that allows people to get involved, the beneficiaries, people across the north, to get involved in this broader governance of the north.
No, you're going to pay a tax. We ain't going to yom chunyu be beru tie kienwa na kuju be dugu bien chak pa chwele ne umier ke mar fur no me yomo ich nyome ribo kien ga chiel no ne tida gena peta
mar fur ma ga mente mier mi borwa do tiena ma to go lale lum kingo wen mier ke chog yin ki ket pin ye yin tien ni to adi o to abi mier ga mente chul kiru to ngwen mier ga mente chul mier en kwany kare da diet betiare en ti kom en kwany kare me loki la mente ma diet me bino ka loki Acholi me waje Acholi me pa uma me pala bek me kwene ana bino tin bodu anyure ene futwa en pala bek pong dan wen pong gi chama o wen achiel dan ber gi chunya achiel
ana gen piere berute pien jami ma otime en morweny wen gamente ng'eyo kichwalo kogo ye chi gima otime pe an agen kit machalo lutela madong gi yero gi ayera gien aye romo konyo kowa i kit kogo Acholi pien tela dong tie tela palwak wan wachwalo kogo gi te dero kany kube o wai parliament wek gen bene konen gin matie katime ma omiero dong pege romo kana iya kana ko yo me kemone dong tie kage romo mione chiki bidwako jami twa morweny weng
wan wayie ni omiero gamente okwa kicha pien jami maka otime maraje ka imiyo kicha bod lawori en bene chunye pie chi oramo bedo maber dok otiyo maber kachiel wek pe okel tam mapol kare me anyim pien wan mokwongo miero warip dong chingwa kachiel ki gamente weki wanong yo me dongo kabedowa machalo wan Acholi kit ma jo mukene ka inichiero inongo kabedo gi tie maber dano kwan romo gi kuj bene tie mapara marach peke cham tie mabejo omiero wator ching wadong kachiel ki gamente madong wabi kwanyo chunywa ko ki yo mogo ma yamo time chi omiero dong wabed dok dano achiel dok dano pa gamente wek bene lobo wa odong
Kala tela makwiri kong penyo tampa luak kira miera kiti kede. Che kala tela mape kwiri romu tichoko gi wiye. Chi no ya no ti mire pa luako no pe yomo I luak.
Acholi wa yo kuot ke ten ka chiel tai la mairo.
We have to go down to the community, talk to them, let them really understand who are the leaders, the roles of the leaders, what the leaders can do for them. And they should also pick interest in leadership. You know, when there's no interest in leadership, you don't even care whether you go to the leader or not. So if people will begin picking interest in leadership, they will like the leaders.
Ya kan ini jamati tema chere bino wa opuara ya kanyo o chaka kunyo ye wa omo gweno gi weng gi bole ye kan digi ye dong fut dong la ka cha wa churon wa chakare wa tandara weng wa timo ti kan man do ke ti medo uri dong me buro ar ma ke yubu ma chiel weng fut uri tedo ke ti mede ke yubu ar buro dong ar ma mega amiero dong amiero lo tena ni go kwan kar ma nyim ti go bed maber wek go kony an amiero teme gi tek me chulo gi wek go nong be kwo kar ma nyim amiero go kwan maber
ana ngeni pinno bala chimane no watika yona yuba dong kera dong la dit tua dok fu doko dake kome wana churi dong jemo mo pe ye eno mere geti ento nen pe lo tieno pe ma en bor ga ngechi wak gen mene dir ma wango yabo mene lok ma doke ngang kwanen tua ele put batum kidong alenga ni eno tim bor wakija wanong wana churi kong nong mer kong manguri yen wan gi ko mate
Nena bera ana tia tamu pitutena tia paro pe anyimu tena ni pero bed baran mi atia yelle kede do pamita bed bara baba wa me pe ogedo ana neno ni ka ginu jo ti jo gero ni permanent building ngoro ana tia yella mitingo ti ginuru te kanu shente moro we ha wilo gigimo na ha jogo ana ati ukri ginasha
cicak. Tiyan bino dar cicak. Baba. Cicak. Cicak. Tiyan ri. Ana mer ni kuju duko Uganda wane nyoy. Iya chwele wakanya mer ni kuju dugi wak yot kwa betie. Pian kwa tak ka kufut ni. An kar ma ka dok ati ganga kuja. Amira bed gi ga weng wak chunya bed ma yom amir ga weng bed ganga. Fu jemi ngo don le bed ganga ni wak chunya yom ga weng ot jemi ma duong diang diegi ngo weng ga ti ganga kun yom ya ma konye pe.